Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We are here today with Marta from Surfe for our HubSpot and Surfe webinar. Apologies for the lateness. We've had some technical issues, but we are here now. Today, we're going to be talking about social selling with HubSpot and using Surfe to multiply your impact on LinkedIn. Marta's joining us. She is the Partnership Manager at Surfe. We are so delighted to have you here, Marta. Thank you so much for joining us today. Briefly, Marta's going to run us through a Surfe demo, what the system actually looks like, and then we're going to be looking at what the difference in functionality is, whether you're using Sales Navigator already with LinkedIn, or whether you would just be using Surfe. We're also going to discuss the strategy that's needed before you implement something like Surfe. There's a little bit of thinking to do before you implement that. And then we'll take some audience questions at the end. If anything comes to you while we're running through the demo, please just pop it into the chat and we'll visit some of those questions at the end. Afterwards, we're going to send a follow-up email out with this recording to the session, and we'll have some resources in there as well. So Marta, thank you once again. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I will let you take it away.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the introduction. And hi, everyone. Today I'm joining from the airport, so I apologize in advance if you hear anything in the background. I was stuck in between flights, but here we are. As Sam mentioned, I'm the partnership manager at Surfe. I joined a little bit over a year ago, and I'm taking care of partners like Automate Now, and at the same time also tech partners like HubSpot. So I'm working with all this like partner network to make sure that the Surfe word spread even faster. And Sam mentioned the agenda for today, so it will be like a very like a general overview. So we'll just like to tap on some topics, and we will share also like more resources also, because when we talk about social selling, it's a topic that just it would need a series of webinars. So like we'll try to condense some basics in a few minutes. But of course, we will also share more resources, and we are also available for any questions or any tips that you might want. So I will start by sharing my screen with you. So let's start with very general product overview. And in the meantime as well, if you want to put in the chat the main challenges that you face when using LinkedIn, feel free to do so. It will be very useful also for me to understand also like what to tackle in the next part. When we talk about Surfe as a product, the main thing is that Surfe is a Chrome extension. So quite straightforward. You can see it in here. Once you open it, you have this panel on the side. It's very easy to connect, and we say it takes 60 seconds. It actually takes even less. You just need to connect your CRM and go through the authentication, and here you go. What happens when you are using Surfe on LinkedIn? It basically connects your CRM to LinkedIn, bringing the CRM interface into LinkedIn. So this is the part that you see in here, but also LinkedIn information into HubSpot. So you can see in here, now I'm even on my own profile, but I can go to anyone's profile here. So let's take my CEO's David. You can see here he is highlighted in blue. There is this interface, and I can see also in here there are some other contacts that are highlighted in blue. So this means that I can see those contacts that are already in my CRM. So they are marked. So at first sight, I can see already, okay, these contacts are in my CRM. And when I open, I can see I have this this interface. So I have some properties in here that I can change. I have in here the email. So like what we have, it's actually an enrichment feature to find the contact details. I will show you later. I have notes and tasks. So the idea is really to have the contact page directly on LinkedIn, and I can also open it on HubSpot. So the idea is that you don't have to switch every time from LinkedIn to HubSpot if you want, for instance, to edit one specific property, if you want to add notes or plan tasks, or anything that you want to do with the contact, if you want to write an email, you don't have to go back to Gmail, you don't have to go back to HubSpot, you can do it directly on LinkedIn, which saves time, of course. And let's take a contact that I don't have in my CRM. So I can also show you how Surf looks like when we don't detect a contact in your CRM. You have this banner. So in here you can see you can choose, Marek is not in my CRM, it's not highlighted. I can choose to add him as a contact or as a deal. So I will just click on the contact here. And what you will see is that it just recreates the same exact interface that I showed before with David's profile. So I can see in here now, I'm the owner because I'm the person who added this contact. There is the enrichment that starts automatically. And you can see it's running. And you can kind of see here, it's waiting for drop contact. So why are we mentioning drop contact? And you might see also like other tools. It's because we are using what we call an enrichment cascade. So we didn't develop our own enrichment feature, but we decided to combine the tools that do enrichment, that do it well, to combine them in one platform. So we have Drop Contact, Apollo, Rocket Reach, and Hunter.io. And also we validate the emails with zero bounce. So we run all these tools in the backend. We see, for instance, we find the email address with Apollo. If we don't find it, we run to the next tool. So there is also an AI feature that allows us to choose to pick the best tool for the market that you are targeting. So in here you can see I just have found Marek's detail. I can also write an email. I can take a note in here. Let's say testing, very classic note. You can see that the note was saved on HubSpot. I can plan, because in here you will have like for a task, like very classic, like the HubSpot interface with the main. Actually, like let me just make a very simple task here, and I can create it. So you also see in here when it's due. If you have air call, for instance, if you have in here the icon, you have a dialer that opens and with the number, so you can call direct the prospect. And as well, you can create a deal. Very classic. So if I want to create a deal, I can just choose the pipeline. And you see in here, I can just then change. I can decide also if I want to edit some properties. For instance, like in my HubSpot, I have so many properties and not all of them are useful for my prospecting activity on LinkedIn. So I can just say, okay, if this, it's not what I'm interested in. I want to know the closed one reason, for instance. And you save, and then it's going just to refresh and show the information. So this works both for deal and contact. You see that I've added a contact and a deal. What about the company? So fun thing is that the company is actually created automatically. So once you add the contact, the company, so in here I have Cloud Talk, is automatically created. And if I add any other contact from Cloud Talk, it's not going to create a new record. All the contacts will be linked to that same company. So here, like it's a new contact that I create. So let's see how Marek looks like on HubSpot. So you can see in here I have the task that I've just created, and you can see in here my note testing. So everything that I've added, the phone number, the email, everything is recreated into HubSpot without me having to copy paste information or like manually create the contact. And of course, as well, it's a bidirectional integration, so that if I save in here, now I put subscriber, I will save it as subscriber. If I then refresh in here, you see as well the same change. So the idea is that there is really a correspondence of the information that you see on both sides. And so this is more for what concerns like adding a contact, adding deals, so like more of the entity side and the prospecting. But we do also have some one feature that is more about the messaging. So I will not probably bore Marek, since I don't know him. So let's take another contact. Let's see if I have someone that I can take. Okay, let's take Christian. It's a friend of mine, so we can use him. So in here, you can see Christian is already my CRM, and I have here the option to sync all the chat that I had with him. So I can just click here, and it is synced. I can also disable it at any time. For instance, if you're doing prospecting, you want to have the conversation saved on HubSpot, but only those that relate to the sales process and not if you keep the relation with the customer, you can always disable the sync. Also, what we have is the possibility to create some templates. So imagine if, for instance, you are like prospecting and you need, you have some nice templates that you want to use, you can always create new ones. So we have in here some variables that you can use. So like first name, last name. And this allows you to have kind of a template that then you can add. So it's not automatically sent. In here, for instance, I will just select this one. And you can see it's not automatically sent to you, so you can just add also like some customization to it. And if I'm going to Christian's page right now, you can see that I have a logged LinkedIn message with all the conversation. Quite important for HubSpot users, this is actually 90% of our tickets regarding messaging in HubSpot. It's a native task type on HubSpot, so you just need to tick LinkedIn in order to see this message logged in the page. And always there is this kind of, yeah, you wonder like on LinkedIn, there is not that much control. And you think, okay, if I send a message, is this the good message? Is this having a good reply rate? It's quite difficult to calculate. And actually we do have this kind of data in our dashboard. So now it was showing you how Surf looks on LinkedIn. We do also have a dashboard on our own that you basically use for the setup. So like a CRM, when you do the setup, you have in here the everything that you need, like all the settings, but also you have some analytics, which are super important because they kind of give you an idea of your activity on LinkedIn. Like they say, okay, you use templates. You can see who is the top user. You can see how many times it was used, and according to that number, you also have the reply rate. If I see that a reply rate is very high, like okay, now Carl only used it once, it's a 100% reply, meaning that only the person replied. But if you see that it was used a lot of times and it has still a good reply rate, it means that it's a good template and that you can share it like between users. So all the sales team can have kind of a similar way to outreach. And of course, you have also like some analytics on the messages that you sync, on the enrichments that you've done, on how many templates you used, and as well on the user analytics. So you have, you can see which one of your sales rep is actually leveraging LinkedIn the most, and then in here all the stats. And some as well some statistics on the top industries, like also always based on the contacts you reached out to. So we just draft this this map. And I'm thinking if I should like probably like one last thing because before we jump on the next part, it's also like these contact updates. So the idea behind Surf in general is to help to maintain your CRM clean so that your sales reps can focus on something else than cleaning the CRM hours a week. And what we do is as well detecting those changes. So if I have like some contacts in the CRM that are linked to one specific position or have like specific, like work for a specific company, and then something changes on LinkedIn, we are able to detect it. So you just have in here, you can see I have I have almost 300 CRM contacts to update, and I can just go here and say, okay, I can see that, for instance, I can see here there was no company, now there is this Zelig. So I can update the contact and this will start again. So I can find as well the current email and update the contact in my CRM. And as well, if I don't have, for instance, now I have Zelig in my companies. If not, I'm also like prompt to add the company. So this is it for the demo. I know it's a lot. I try to condense a lot in a few minutes. So yeah,
That's awesome, Marta. Thank you. We just have a couple of maybe quick fire questions before we move on to the next part. So the first question from Joanna is this only working with HubSpot? Do you have to install HubSpot first to install Surf?
So we do work with different CRMs. So the condition is to have either Google Sheets. So we also work, we are integrated with Google Sheets, or to have a CRM like HubSpot, Pipedrive, Copper, and Salesforce. So we always need something on the other end, because of course, like we work as a bridge. So as a bridge, we have in one point LinkedIn, and on the other end, it must be either a CRM or, as I mentioned, Google Sheets.
Perfect. And then the second question from Andrew was, can you link this with Outlook email or is it just Gmail?
For the moment, it's just Gmail. Yes. So we are linked with the Google Suite.
Perfect. Okay.
Perfect. We were chatting before. If there are not any other questions, anything else I should reply? Let me just see.
One on reporting on Surf data in HubSpot. How user-friendly is that?
So in here, you can have some manipulations. So there is one thing that is important, it's the setup. So like, of course, you can run reports also like based on properties, and it's important that the properties match. So this is actually one of the first thing that we always recommend to any users is to go through the properties mapping. It's something that you do like once or like twice if you change like your CRM setup, but it's very important. We do have some fields that are created. So let me just go in here. So we do have LinkedIn ID or LinkedIn URL. We do have as well this the source and the Sales Navigator URL. So if you want to have like some reports on like specific contacts, like make sure also to have these map properties correctly mapped. For the LinkedIn URL, actually we do have now a new kind of feature that allows us to detect if you don't have this field, you can just with one click authorize us to create it in your CRM for you, because this is particularly important to define also like if content comes from LinkedIn.
Perfect. No more questions for now, Marta?
Nice. We can probably go over the Sales Navigator.
Sure.
Subject then. So actually, yeah, this is one of the questions that we get a lot. And I guess like probably also like Sam, like you guys at Automate now, you hear this about Sales Navigator, like if can I use only LinkedIn? Do I need Sales Navigator to actually build a strategy? So in here, there is not like one wrong or right answer. It depends merely on how you work. So the way that Surf works is more of on a one-on-one basis. So like it's about social selling. So it's more qualitative and less quantity. So you can use like we work at what I was showing you before. So if I'm going just like all this, the interface that I was showing you, all this, it's actually available on LinkedIn, LinkedIn Premium, and Sales Navigator. So you have the exact same features with the highlight, with the exact same interface, with the exact same options. So it's available on both. What's the difference in here? For instance, if you have normally what we suggest, and this goes also like in the direction of social selling, we suggest that if you don't do like mass outreach, try to already like before even like you can add them before, but like just follow the contacts that you want to reach out to, because this allows you to have all their updates directly on the homepage. So this is actually very important also in the social selling. You can see what kind of content they like, what kind of content they share. So it gives you also an idea on how you can outreach to them in a way that it's not the classic format that we see in the email cadences, like this cold outreach, which is basically the same for everyone, but you can really custom your message. In another sense, also like if you say like, okay, I actually want to outreach a lot of contacts. So, okay, I can go and add them one by one, but it would be best to have like some mass export. Then it's where I would say Sales Navigator comes more at hand. So we do have one extra feature with Sales Nav, which really replies to the needs of those who have to like do a a lot of cold outreach, cold prospecting. Like they have, they need like different lists every day to cold outreach. You have the possibility on Sales Nav to create some list of leads, and then you can select them. Like thanks to Surfe, you can select them all and export them to HubSpot. What happens in here is also that we enrich in mass. So like all those tools that I was mentioning that we use in the backend to enrich, they're also used in the bulk export. So not only you export the leads, but as well you enrich them. So this is the feature that we have plus in Sales Navigator. But probably just to give you like a quick like preview of something that it's coming quite soon, since we know that Sales Navigator is it's quite costly as well, like, and it's not for all companies, and sometimes it can also be like quite limited depending on the needs of the company. We are actually working on a new tool. We actually ready to launch it quite soon. So I have only a screenshot here of the homepage, which I stole from my developers. So we are actually going to launch what we call the Lighthouse, which is basically an enrichment hub that will allow you to, okay, now this is already live, to enrich a list of contacts from a CSV file. But more importantly is this part, find the leads. So what we are releasing soon is that missing piece in the puzzle that we had. So that kind of required Sales Navigator to find a list of ICPs, of persona to reach out to. So we are actually building this very similar to what you see in Sales Nav. You can set filters, like you can see in here, we mentioned job title, seniority, location. We have lots of different fields that you can use so that we can create that list for you. We can bulk enrich it as well. And you have then access on them on LinkedIn on the free version. So it's like basically you're using the Sales Navigator functionality, but without having Sales Navigator. So this is just like a small like preview. As I mentioned right now, what we are launching, we do have already one part, which is this, where you can just upload a list of contacts, bulk enrich them, and then export the CSV file. But this is the hot piece that is coming quite soon. So yes, in a nutshell, for the moment, if you want to do this bulk export and enrich, you still need Sales Navigator. But we are also filling that part quite soon.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Both excellent updates, and really good for those people who don't currently have Sales Navigator but were thinking about it.
Yeah.
Marta, just aware that we had a little bit of a technical issue to start off with, so we are running a little bit behind. If anyone needs to go at 12:30, please do. Are you able to stay on for a few minutes and discuss the strategy that's needed for implementing
Sure.
something like this? We
Sure.
do have a couple of, I don't know how quick the questions are. First, though, for agencies that want to recommend Surfe and HubSpot to their clients, are there any thoughts on Surfe versus HubLead?
So I know that Hub Leads works mainly. It's actually only connected with HubSpot. So like they basically build everything on the HubSpot environment. Well, in terms of products, and I also invite you to test because it's really good also like to see as in comparison. We do have already like some differences in terms of the enrichment cascade, for instance. So we are one of the few tools that actually allow you to have 5 other tools included in the price. So I forgot to mention, but like all the tools that I was mentioning, like Apollo, Job Contact, etc., they are included in Surfe. So you don't need any extra tool. You get them, or like any extra subscription, you get them in the plan. So this is something that I'm sure like HubLead doesn't have. There are not a lot of tools that have this kind of setup. And also like what we are doing right now, like also like in terms of contact updates, but in terms also like of bigger enrichment leads, like this right kind of persona search is something that HubLead doesn't have at my knowledge. So apology if they do have something similar that I'm not aware, but last time I checked, it was not the case. So I know that they're mainly focused on purely like LinkedIn. We also want to go a bit over LinkedIn and really cover all these pre-sales parts. So like when the prospection and like also the outreach, I know that they don't have like this very in-depth analytics. So this is like what I can say like on my experience of UpLead. This is my
Excellent.
best.
Thank you. And then just very quickly, there was a question regarding Lighthouse. Would it search for users in their network, or can it locate leads even if they're not in your network?
Even if they're not in your network, is really like a sales navigator. So, but the only thing is that for us, it's not only LinkedIn the source, it's also all the other database that we usually use to enrich them as well.
Perfect. All right, with 5 minutes left, we can jump to, we've been answering questions as we go along, so no time at the end for questions. So just straight into the strategy and yeah.
Yeah, so I can give you, like, as I mentioned, like a social selling, like would need a series of webinars, but just like very quickly, my advice is that don't use LinkedIn in the same way that you could use like a sales loft or an outreach, because if like cold email, like or cold sequences didn't have enough like results, like doing the exact same strategy on LinkedIn will not be beneficial. So Surfe is just a tool. It doesn't do all the magic for you. Like what I would really recommend, and you can see it like I will also like share more example later on since we don't have much time. It's really like trying to build already your own branding. So like trying to publish content. So you are your own experts. You can be like, for instance, there was someone on with HubSpot consulting agency. So this is great because it gives you like the possibility to create a lot of different content based on your competence. Videos, carousels perform really well. So really like focus on also building your own branding so that you build yourself as like as an expert in your topic. So the idea is really not sell your product or services, but really sell like the solution. So yeah, be the the problem expert and not the product expert. So that's kind of the shift that is really important to have. And at the same time, I was mentioning before, like follow your connections. So this is important, like to make sure that you follow their content, that you comment and that you share, because the algorithm likes that. So they boost as well your profile and your content if you engage with the content of the users you follow. And at the same time, when like also don't be actually like shy or like ashamed of like publishing some personal like it could be like a personal achievement outside of work or like pictures, or all this type of content is actually very liked by LinkedIn, especially like selfies actually boost your profile visibility. And they also have one other side which is showing you as a person. So you're not a salesperson, you're not like a only consultant, but you're a person, like a whole person on LinkedIn. So this is like, and it takes time. I don't want to lie, like I don't say that tomorrow you publish a post, you use like Surf and your strategy, and you will see like this increase. It comes with time, with you need to be constant as well, because if you don't publish for at least 3 times a week, the algorithm just again hides more your profile. So it also demands kind of consistency. And yeah, like I'm sorry, like there would be so many things to say, and I'm giving you like just some very quick sentences. But Sam, we need to do something about this, like organize something more
I
and
know.
give more example. But I
Yeah,
can also have an ebook that I can share, by the way, about this.
we were saying that
Yeah.
there's just so much to talk about. It's maybe
Yeah.
worth doing a stage 2 version of this to go in a little bit more detail. Thanks very much,
Thank
everyone,
you.
for joining us. I'm so sorry that we've run over time, but we will email you out with a recording and some resources afterwards. Enjoy the rest of your day and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.